Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this live stream. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So, yesterday we caught an XRP pump literally from the bottom, and we literally caught for like 20% move on XRP. We have booked full profits. Yesterday we booked 50% profits around 7 to 9. That's already around 73 cents. I was expecting it to go towards, the previous quarter highs around 755, but it did not went. And now we have booked full profits. I think I just really wanted to probably ride it along, but then on the lower time frame, I'm seeing a little bit of more accumulation that's happening. Now, how do we long XRP, ladies and gentlemen? So first, we are going to go for XRP. On the 15 minutes time frame, XRP looks good. It's trying for a breakout here, and the volume is pretty much looks to me like an accumulation that's happening. Also, we have two Doritos over here. The signal was given around 70 cents, and the price is still above those levels. So you got a lot of chance to accumulate around 68 cents, and that's what I think our Doritos are. They are really important. So once XRP breaks out here on a trend line and flips 71 cents, right, to 70.5 cents, I think XRP is going to run towards 80 cents, and that's how we going to buy back XRP at that moment of time. In my view, I think XRP is still looking hot and should be giving us a push up in my view. So let's see, but you really want XRP to flip up 0.705, and once that happens, we are going in. Overall, we have a lot of big white candles, as you can see here on 15 minutes time frame. Those white candles are the volumetric candles, which means that bulls literally stepped in at those point of times, and these pump is a very genuine pump, and it's not like a fake out. Even on 1 hour time frame, you can see that we really got that impulsive move on and off side for XRP with a huge volume. So hence, I do think that XRP should be breaking out here in my view, and I would be looking for another impulsive leg move on and upside towards 80 cents. Now, on the hard time frame, I just want to show you a very important levels for XRP. So before that, our H1 gave a signal for XRP around 62 cents. It went, it was above our invalidation levels. It went to 58 cents, gave a good chance to accumulate from 62 cents to 58 cents, and boom, it just had a good impulsive move on an upside. Our signals are very strong. These signals on H1 M15 are very strong, and the accuracy is it's like we are just releasing reports every 2 days, so how the signals are. I mean, so far how much worth they are proving it. So I think XRP is really looking good. Now let's have a check on XRP on a weekly time frame, ladies and gentlemen. Now if you talk about XRP on a weekly time frame, I'm just probably going to hide the SVP, PVP, and maybe the price action algo as well for the time being, maybe even support resistance as well as signal algo. And as you can see here on XRP, on the weekly time frame, we have a very strong levels. The levels that we are talking about on XRP, those are the weekly levels of 75.76. So 75 cents to 76 cents is a very big levels for XRP. As you can see, every time we went there, we have seen a big and a sharp rejection from those levels. So once it happened in 2020, another happened here, and then we got an impulsive move. Once it break out, it got a very volatile move of almost close to 130 to 140%. Again bounced off from here, again got a nice impulsive move after reclaiming it back around another move of 65 to 70%. Then bounce, breakdown, a bigger breakdown happened from those levels. Again, we rejected after a big impulsive move that happened in July 2023, and now we are targeting it back. So for the third time, because it happened last time as well, we rejected exactly from those levels, and now we are accumulating. And now this is literally going to go, once it flips this 75.76, my target for XRP is simply going to be the $1.6 levels, basically here. Why? Because I feel XRP is going to make a very interesting triangle sort of a structure, and maybe even not triangle, and maybe it can be a very important or a bigger, as you can see, it can be a very important or a bigger bullish structure. Also, let's have a look from SR point of view. So this was your trend line. This is exactly where we used to reject, or whatever we used to get some rejections. Now that if we close this weekly above this yellow line, I think XRP is going to be very, very bullish in my view. So this is the Bybit chart. Overall, guys, I am very, very bullish on XRP at this point. Just waiting for it to give us a decent breakout. And once that happens, XRP is going to run on the upside. 0.7056 is the levels you need to watch for on 15 minutes time frame for it to flip. Once that level is flipped, XRP is going to fly. Literally, it's going to fly. Okay. So that's all we have for XRP. So far, it's breaking out, guys. Look at here. It's breaking out. I think it should be a good long over here with a very tight stop loss or invalidation. Levels clearly would be around 68.53 with a long over here, or maybe you can just simply buy spots and chill, and you can just let it ride to 80 cents. Once it goes past above 71.17, you can simply move your stops at break even and let it ride. Just manage your risk, don't go all in, and you really don't want to be gambling on this. You just have to manage your risk properly so that you can make good amount of money. So that's what I think. XRP is literally pulling its plug. Maybe one more push-up is coming over here on this live stream we are talking about today as well. We took INJ spot backs around 41.4 to 41 cents, got a good entry around 41.2, and I'm really happy at this point on INJ. This week that we got to see around, I think INJ is clearly it went literally towards $40.40, did not hit our stops, and my average is really good for me. I do think INJ is at a big resistance, guys. It's a last level of resistance, and we are knocking this resistance. Just imagine, once this 45 level is flipped, I think INJ is going to go for a big moon. So practically just imagine INJ on the 3-day chart over here. Imagine it's a big accumulation or a bigger range that we are looking for on INJ. That's like a bigger accumulation that's happening. And we are targeting range highs again over and over. So that's like this time we are targeting the range highs, and that range highs is almost like 5th time it's happening. You can check it out. First it happened on January 2024, then it happened on Feb 2024, then it happened again on March 2024, and in itself in like 12 days for the March we have seen INJ testing this levels 3rd time. So practically this time it breaks and I see INJ literally flying. Now how far it would go? So logically my analysis says that the impulsive move that we have seen from here till here, and after that we got a bigger accumulation for an INJ. I am seeing INJ pulling something like this for a minimum target in my view from here. A minimum target for this whole accumulation would be around $63. That's how the minimum target for INJ would be. And if you talk about from the FIBS perspective, of course, we are in a price discovery, and you can't measure as to how far INJ would go. But what you can do is just pull the FIBS from here on an INJ, and I do think that you will be getting a perfect targets for INJ. If you look at here, my first primary target for INJ would be 56.3 and later 2414 to $71. So once your $56.3 is flipped, INJ is going to go for $71. But that's it. We are not going to stop there. Once it flips 2414 as well, then it's going to literally activate a bigger target on INJ, which is going to sit around, not here, ladies and gentlemen, not 3414, no. It's simply going to activate its bigger target for a bull target, basically the bull run target for INJ, which would be somewhere around, in my view, $130 and $166. So practically you can imagine, how big INJ can be in just in case if we are, because this is a bigger accumulation. Look at I mean, if you really want to see a push to $50, I would have not seen INJ having a bigger accumulation of this range. I mean, you would have literally mentioned it like, no, this is not like a, some sort of a 5 waves. Of course, many people are watching this is like 1, 2, a bigger impulsive move for a wave 3, and then this is wave 4, and that's wave 5. I think, no, we are missing a point over here. What I feel is the move on INJ that we are watching is wave 1. This was your wave 2, and this is just like, wave 1, and the bigger impulsive move that we got was like wave 2, and now we should be aiming for a run up, total run up towards triple digit INJ. I mean, that's how I see the invalidation for INJ would be $26 for like a big bullish comp that I have a big bag on INJ from $30, and bought I bought around, once it break out, around $25, and then I bought a 37, so hence the average is around 30, 31, and I'm simply going to let that bag ride. Even if it gives you a retest of $26, I think INJ is still overall very, very bullish. I think INJ can really pull a plug, and this can be a very big coin in my view. Let's talk about from a bigger time frame perspective, from talking about from Binance. Now let's talk from the FIBS perspective. You see, normally what I would like to draw, or how I would like to draw, normally when the asset is in price discovery, we should be drawing FIBS this way actually. So let me show you. Yeah. So practically, if you see here on INJ, it's like INJ has been accumulating in the whole range. Over here, let me just hide things so that we can have it properly. Perfect. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that's our range highs of 25.3, and it seems to me like that's like a bigger accumulation that's in play actually. So if you see that from this perspective, I really don't see this is 1, this is 2, or this is some sort of a wave 3. No, wave 3 cannot be that smaller in degree. Also, the volume doesn't suit wave 3, which means that the wave 3 is still yet to come. And when that wave 3 comes, I think INJ is likely going to piss off every damn person who is literally waiting for the $25 range to happen, maybe a retest to come. It can simply just break out from here and literally go for a triple digit target to 164 for like 161 at Fibonacci levels. That is going to be a very wild target for INJ. And lastly, this bull run, peak target for INJ in my view, at this point, what I'm saying from the FIBS perspective, it would be somewhere around 2414 FIBS, which is like literally going to be the last levels of for INJ. I mean, it's not necessary we can reach those levels in this bull run like a one go. No, maybe we can literally reject and maybe we can dump like this, but overall I see at some point, probably next 2 to 3 years, I see INJ going these levels at some point, but not now in my view. So the minimum target from INJ perspective at this point, what I'm saying is that the 1:1 extension is very, very likely for like $250, and later I would like to see it just going towards $800 or so. So this would be my full-blown bull run target for INJ, just in case Bitcoin literally goes from here to probably around 120 to 150k. I think INJ is going to go nuts and going to go for $900. That would be the peak of this bull run, and you should literally sell all your INJ over there, because after that you're going to see INJ dumping 80 to 90% in the next bear market. So this would be the peak. For now I think INJ is bullish. We are just accumulating, so just look at the bigger picture. It's in the bigger accumulation. Whatever you got the bags, you need to keep on holding it, in my view, for INJ. Okay, I'm still waiting for it to break out the $45. Till it don't break out, of course we are not going to be very, very bullish at this point. It might literally simply go down again, but overall I feel that it's going to break out, and once it breaks out, I think the volume is going to follow, and we are going to see a very big volumetric candle on INJ, probably on a weekly time frame as well as maybe on the daily as well. But overall I think INJ is cooking and it's looking good. So that's what we have for INJ. XRP, as I mentioned already, it's already breaking out. As you can see, we need to wait for, if you really want to long, you can long it here as well. I would be a little bit aggressive, but that's fine. I will be looking for long and definitely going to give you as well around once it flips even 7056, that's what we have for INJ and everything. Now, very important thing we need to discuss. Bitcoin literally played the plan. Our bot also played it perfectly with Monday flip, and we're going to go to 70.5 plus. So that's what we did. And congratulations for those who are riding it. You should be riding in stops 69,350 now. So that's what the stop should be. But now the most important part about this live stream is not Bitcoin, not XRP, not everything. I mean, just imagine, okay, Bitcoin is already at the new all-time high. It has been in the news all over the US, all over the Europe, all over Asia. So basically Bitcoin, every news, every newspaper, every financial news or whatever you want to see, everywhere it's Bitcoin now back. The way we see the way I saw it in 2017, October practically. So I was at that point of time and I saw Bitcoin was like every day it used to make a new headline. It's new all-time highs. It's like $5,000, $6,000 and so on. So practically this is how the newbie enters into the market practically. Now it is bullish. Yes, definitely it's bullish. But then just imagine, I mean, look at from the perspective. Okay, ETF is now proven to be bullish. There is no conspiracy theory for sure. At this point, at least they are not pulling the plug at this point. You need to make more money out of it. 4% of the total supply is now being held by, almost close to 4% is being held by ETF overall together. Now, money is flowing in, but then I also shared a chart for Bybit. Of course, I think SPX, today we have CPI. I think CPI is going to come hot, basically, which means that, there is a very likely chance that CPI is going to come poor than what was expected, which means that CPI is going to come a little bit higher in my view, because the oil prices were stagnant, or it did not dump the way it should have been to reduce the CPI in my view. That's what I've been monitoring it for since long. The crux of the CPI is oil. So the crude oil pumps or stays stagnant, CPI comes always negative, which means the CPI don't come good. So let's see how things roll on for CPI. Of course, the CPI won't change any price action. It's not gonna. The news don't make price actions. The news just can trigger. It can just accelerate the price action. It never makes it actually. That's something you need to understand. Talking about the USD DOM now, this is a bit worry for me. So before I go down to the oscillators, the first important thing that I draw the fib for this whole ABC picture that we were talking about a few days back on the live stream. Now there is a lot of noise on the chart, so I just wanted to hide all the SVPs, PVPs, support resistance, and our signals as well. Even it gave the sell signal over here that indicates a clean buy for the whole market, that the USD DOM is going to dump practically on the daily time frame. Now if I just simply go to the inverse chart, as you can see over here on the USD dominance fund, the USD dominance at this point have reached to the have reached to the 161 Fibonacci levels. Now, how did we drew this 161? Basically, so this is a normal fib that have been drew from wave A till wave B. This is like a very clean triangle to me, for almost like a double bottom sort of a thing, as you can see over here. And now we have broke out with a very impulsive move on and upside. Practically, I think we have reached a very important point for a USD DOM, and we have been probably you see over here as well, historically when we have went to those levels over here, as you can see, we have a strong resistance around 3.25%, and then we have another resistance around 3.66%. Practically we're very close to those levels, in case if we even have to go for a one more push, a solid push on USD DOM. What I feel for now is that USD DOM is in a continuous uptrend, and this is not in my view sustainable at this point. Why? we have seen in past, whenever the USD DOM have seen these sort of an impulsive moves, it always tends to give us a big retracement for like 20-25%, where like we least expect it and it gives us. So that's what I am expecting. And why do I expect? Now let's go to the point. So we have reached to the 1618, which is like the bigger extension target for any sort of a impulsive move on an asset. It's like a big extension that I'm talking about. Talking about the daily RSI over here, the daily RSI has been looking good, and in my view very likely that we bottomed today. So just wanted to see how are we going to close this daily candle. If today we are going to close daily RSI above the MA, RSI based MA, then definitely it would be the first sign for a USD DOM that yes, it's topped out, or you can say it's bottomed out, and we may likely see a very nasty impulsive move on a USD DOM pumping towards 50% levels. You know, that is something we need to be very cautious. So today is going to be very important, probably I would say this week, today as well as tomorrow, very crucial. Why? Because if today we're going to see a daily closure like this, RSI based MF flipping this, and if tomorrow also we get these sort of a closure, I am very confident USD DOM is definitely going to run up like this, and it's just going to pump like this. The RSI is going to pump, meaning the USD DOM is going to pump, meaning that the market is going to dump, simply just period, which means that that's how the thing is going to, and you're probably going to sit tight. Don't rush into buying anything quickly, because that dump can last for like few days, and probably we can literally maybe go a little bit sideways move in a bigger accumulation, the way INJ is at this point, and then probably we can look for a nasty move on Bitcoin, probably towards 85 to 100k as well. But this is what it is at this point. USD DOM is literally giving me chills. Something you should be keeping in mind. Now, a lot of people would be asking, why USD DOM? What is USD DOM? So USD dominance literally represents, it tells you that how much of money, first of all, how much percentage of the USDT is there in the market versus total crypto market cap. First, very basic, very layman language I'm explaining you so that you guys understand it. Why this is important? It tells you that at what point of time the money is going into the market. Basically, the people are literally selling their USDT to buy crypto. At what point of time people are exchanging their cryptos for USDT. So, this is the very easy way of explaining USDT dominance. That's what it is actually. Now, the daily chart is giving me chills. Let's see how are we going to close today on the USD DOM. One more important thing about the USD DOM is that it formed a very interesting bullish divergence over here as well on the daily time frame after long on RSI, as you can see over here on the daily. So you got a very clean bullish divergence as well. This is where the divergence happened. So lower lows, the price made lower lows, but the price, the RSI haven't made lower lows. It made higher lows basically, which means that there is a very nice bullish divergence on daily time frame for USDT dominance, which is a little bit worrying for me, that any impulsive move that we might see today or tomorrow, it can literally wreck, literally wrecked. The new money pump USD dominance, yes, the new money literally pumps, but it won't pump that way. Why? Because the new money that comes into the market is like $1 billion, a $2 billion minting. They really need to catch up Bitcoin. They really need to make more than 50 to 60 billion dollar in, if you really just imagine, if you really want Bitcoin to pump above 100k or maybe even 150k, I would say the USD Tether and the overall stable coins, they need to literally pump or mint at least 50 to 60 billion dollars worth of USDT at this point. Current market cap of USDT is $101 billion. Few days back it was 90, and now it is like 101, 1 billion, just $11 billion increase versus what we saw Bitcoin from 40k to almost close to 80k now, 72,000, which is almost like doubling. So which means that there is a huge gap what I'm seeing at this point. So practically what I feel is that if USDT DOM literally reverses from here, I am seeing the first logical target for USDT DOM would be around 5.2% levels. So meaning this can literally hurt everyone. So hence, I would suggest each and every one of you guys, whether you like it or not, do not go into leverage. Just ride the spots. Even if your spot bags are underwater, never mind. These pump, the pump that we're going to watch on USD DOM is literally going to retrace, in my view, and give us a good opportunity going ahead. So practically your spots are king. We really want to buy FET. A lot of people commented on my chart on Twitter that 1.6 is never happening because they don't know exactly. They never have been in this market for like since 2017, and they've never seen any new cycles. DeFi, I have seen DeFi cycles. I have seen Meta. I have seen BRC. I have seen NFTs, everything I've seen, and this is how exactly it works actually, whether you like it or not. So I think FET we are buying around 1.67 to 1.6. You can just have your limits there for spot bags, and your target would be around 8.5 to maybe even $10 if you are lucky. Talking about RNDR, I think 10.5 to 9.9 is what primarily I'm eyeing for RNDR, but probably this might little hurt actually. It might go to my original target of 8.5 as well. But let's see. It's spots, so we're just going to play that way as a spot for RNDR as well. So AI is literally going to cool off like $26 billion. Now $4, I think 3.5 was enough for 3.5 to 3.96 was the fib levels for FET, if you remember, my friend. We went very close to $3.5. So let's see. I mean, if we really want to push up one more time, I would be really happy. But looking to this USDT DOM, I think now the money should be rotating to at least those alts that are lagging a lot. Like for example, Atom. Atom is our bag, 11.5. We are holding it. It's almost around $13, 13.1. Above equilibrium, we're going to check Atom chart as well in few. But Atom is the coin that probably is lagging a lot. Like near pumped, FTM pumped, all the phone coins pumped. So Atom is definitely lagging a lot, and its time will come in my view. So this is what the USD dominance looks like from the RSI perspective. Now let's have a look at the MACD perspective. MACD is more bullish than I thought. MACD already finishing this whole histogram and probably going to start a green histogram in next few days. As you can see, we are having a bullish divergence on MACD histogram as well. And now the most important part about here is we are seeing a curve shape, basically, that the signal line, sorry, the MACD line is now slowly and gradually turning back up towards signal line. It's like a very small indication. There is a possibility that the momentum is going to shift from bearish to bullish on USDT dominance, which means that the markets are likely going to see some nasty correction. Maybe I wouldn't say reversal yet, but a correction would be very worthwhile. I would say if we get for a correction, historical corrections, 20% corrections are normal. So don't get panic if we do happen to get the 20% move on the market. Those dips would be for buying in my view. I have booked 70% of profits on my coin margin contracts on Bitcoin because the bags were big, and I can't simply let it ride. Basically, I mean, I have to book it some point. So yes, my target was to let it ride to 450k at this point, but I just don't want to be greedy, and I'm happy with whatever we have made it. I'm just writing the spot bags that we have got from 16,800. Also, we got spot bags at $39,000. We're just gonna held our spot bags. In fact, I feel like after seeing this whole USD DOM, I feel like we should even be selling our spots, or maybe just probably hedge it. Yes, it can probably give us a small dump on the USD DOM, maybe not yet confirmed. It can give another 6 to 7% move on the downside. But overall, I think we are very, very close to reversing for the USD DOM. Very, very close. This is the times where you need to be very, very, very cautious and not being much greedy about the market. We have been very greedy. The greed is something, the greed is something that's going to destroy a lot of guys across the Twitter. They have been greedy about just like buy, but no, that's not how it works. Actually, the greed is going to destroy a lot of guys in my view. Let me also show you one more thing before I switch on to another chart. The fear and greed index for crypto. How the fear and greed index looks like at this point. Even I haven't checked it. Let me just see for a minute, please, guys. Just give me a second. Yup. The fear and greed loading. Yep. Oh my God. The fear and greed index have went 90 last week, and still we are in an extreme greed mode actually. Now that we have seen fear and greed index, I would like to see how it just probably looks good to me. Just damn guys, the fear and greed index have reached to a levels where probably we might ping pong between 90 to 80 for like few days, or maybe once the 80 levels of fear and greed index loses, I think we are going to drop very nastically and maybe reset things under 50 levels. So anything above 50, the fear and greed index is bullish. Anything under 50, the fear and greed index is bearish. And you simply have to be very, very careful in the market at that point of time. For now, we are entering into the zone that we are above 80% levels, which means that fear and greed index is at extreme peak of its, I would say, greed, max greed it is at, and the newbies are coming into the market. Basically, that's a perfect sense for the smart money to offload their bags, like give us something like this. We need to be slightly careful when you talk about the fear and greed index. Of course, it's not necessarily it's just going to probably dump in a day or two, but it might. But we have reached 90 levels on fear and greed index, and that levels we reached are on 11th of March. That's yesterday. So 90 levels on fear and greed. That's wow. And the peak we have seen in this whole run, or the historical runs, the fear and greed index normally peaks around 94, maybe somewhere around that, 94 or something. That's what the fear and greed index normally does. So I think we need to be very, very cautious from the fear and greed index perspective. Doesn't mean that we're going to dump today or tomorrow, but something we need to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen. So that's all what we have for a USD DOM. Now let's also have a look at the weekly time frame for the USD DOM. The USD DOM weekly RSI is at the lowest, guys, and it says the 20 RSI levels, which is like very close to over soul territory actually, which means that whenever we go for like green shade over here, it's a clean levels that we have to keep on buying things. This was a good opportunity to buy. Now if we talk about the red levels, this is not a good opportunity to buy. These are the levels to offload. Basically, you need to convert your bags into USDT slowly and gradually, so that you really don't get off guard, because when this thing bounce, it's going to give us a good bounce, but definitely it's not going to give a bounce in a one go. I would like to see a reset. So how the reset would happen? So I would like to see a reset to happen in this fashion. So a weekly RSI is like this. I expect weekly RSI to pump up and give us a maybe a retest of 33, or maybe even just go up like this for like 40, 41, come back down, move down like this, forms inverse head and shoulder, and then run it back up. So what is going to happen is that the price is going to, so USD DOM is going to dump, make lower lows, forms another bullish divergence, and then it breaks out finally, which means that the pump that we might be expecting here is going to be the perfect opportunity to buy the dips in the market basically. And in my view, that the dump that we are expecting or anticipating, in case if the weekly is ready to give us, the daily is definitely ready. If it gives us, I think that dump would be for buying also, especially actually. So the focus should be on alts primarily because now let's move on to my another chart. Total to crypto market cap have flipped the equilibrium of this range, and that's a very good sign in my view. So any retest of 1.04 trillion with this dump, it will be very quick in my view. Any retest, you simply buy ethereum, you simply buy alts, and that will be like 16 to 18% dump, and that's going to run up towards the highs like 1.7 to 2 trillion dollars. Similarly, total 3 is also flipped the equilibrium. Total 3 might slightly dump a lot, maybe probably to 634 638 billion, so also might slightly get crushed in my view. Not ethereum, but also for sure they can dump probably 30% as well. Some also will go nuts and probably do even 40%, and those are the also they are going to literally reverse. They're going to give us a good buy entries as well. So that's what I think the market is. But total 3 is overall looking good. The weekly has been flipped, and I do think it's whatever the dump you're going to see on a total 3, it's going to be like a V-shaped recovery, and that's going to go for like 1.1 trillion dollars. That's going to give us 40% pump on alts actually minimum. So that's why I think also going to be my favorite on the dips basically. Talking about, I've already discussed XRP, INJ. I think both I have discussed about it. I would give INJ. I just want INJ to just probably flip this $45, and once it flips, I think INJ is going to go wild actually, very very wild. It's something that nobody would have imagined. So we just need that $45 break actually. Talking about few more alts, actually VU is coming back to my entry. It was a good decision, guys, that we literally booked all the profits on VU for like 25% gains. We literally caught the bottom over here. I think VU is one of those alts. If you look at the pattern, I think it's likely going to retest the equilibrium around 51 cents. That is where my entry, I would be really looking to buy another spot bags for VU. But let's see. I mean, I already got some bags over here, so I just need to wait a bit. But this is looking interesting. Why? Because this falls into the category of my pattern. Basically, you got a V-shaped recovery. Basically, you got a nice dump, a V-shaped recovery, sweep the highs, and a chop like this to 786, 702 Fibonacci levels, and then booyah, we got a pump up to 77 cents. So I think VU, yes, I think you should be buying your spot bags on VU around 52 cents to 51 cents, and once it loses 51 cents on daily, you simply close it manually. Go with the spot bags, don't leverage it, guys. But this is how you should buy, because leverage, in case it can wick around 40 cents as well, and hence I recommend to just simply go with the spot bags, because spots, even if it wicks, it's going to go for a V-shaped recovery actually. So the spots should be good. Your invalidation is 51 cents. Any single daily closure under 41 cents, and khalas, the plan is going to invalidate, and that's why you need to go with the manual invalidation at this point. So now talking about I think one of the alts that in my view looking good as well is Sand. I will be looking to DCA at 72 cents. I think it's a good levels. Weekly looks good to me, looking really great for a flip as well. And that's to me like a very clean, some sort of a 1-2-1-2. So practically I think Sand is looking good. I am expecting Sand to go minimum 91.5, and maybe it can even pump it up to $1.3 as well, but for now looks great. AXS as well, it is a resistance, so I'll just simply wait for it to flip, but overall it looks good. As I mentioned, guys, now it's the time for you. Yes, it is the time that you should be greedy, and a lot of people are going to tell you that don't be afraid, simply buy. Yes, when I would say that, but these are the times when we see that USD DOM is at bottoming. Daily looks good for reversal, weekly looks great as well. I think it would be great and wise to load your bags on dips, of course, for like it gives you 20% dip. Why won't we take those dips? Actually, we can literally basically we can just buy those dips. That's what we want to do. So that's what I am aiming for on Sand actually. as well as the alts, practically FET, RNDR. So AI is not yet done. I do think we are midway on AI coins, and I think the dips we're going to see on AI, I'm expecting AI to pump like $50 billion. And for like few days, a lot of people compare AI with like Nvidia, but I think Nvidia is likely topped out locally, and we're going to see some more downside, maybe for like few days, and we're going to run it back to maybe 980, $1,000. Talking about SPX, SPX is a very crucial levels, and something that, not giving any chance. It's just entering to my sell-off zone, basically anywhere from 5,100 to 5,365 is my sell-off zone for SPX. Now I consider this move is like ABC for now, unless we have some different counts or something else, but for now I do think I'm considering this move as like ABC. The move I think is a possibility on SPX is we might slightly see a push to 5,300 or so, but I think SPX, once it starts going nuts with the move on the downside, I think SPX can go to minimum target of 3,400, maybe 3,200 as well. That would reset this whole market actually, clearly. But for that to happen, we really need to go back inside this range highs, which is around 4,820. So till we don't go under 4,820, SPX is still bullish, but it is into my sell zone actually. Something we need to be very, very careful about. Once we go beyond my sell zone, that is 5,365, once it starts flipping those levels, then I would say that this bear scenario invalidates for SPX, and SPX goes for a bigger bullish target for like 2414 Fibonacci levels, which would be around, I haven't have it on my chart, but it would be here, 6,688. So that's where SPX is going to then run at that point of time. But this dumps makes sense to me because Bybit also tells me that we are likely going to see soon a bigger correction, on iShares Bitcoin Trust as well. If you look at from the perspective of daily time frame and even the 4 hours, yes, we have passed the $40 levels, and that's exactly when I was expecting, if you remember. And from there, I was expecting, one more give us that one more push up, and then we go for a wave 5. So this is what I'm seeing. This is like a wave 5 to me actually. Now I would like to see a push up that we got 2414 clearly. That is done. So now what can be expected? I think we should be now expecting a little bit sideways move for a correction, and that's what I want actually. And maybe we dump towards $28, a little bit more accumulation, and then we continue on an upside to $50. But overall, I think Bybit is seeing a little bit of, negative volume today. The volume is net sales around 74 million of net sales that's happening. That's outflow that's happening. And similarly, which means that there is some nasty, distribution range is forming over here at this top. We'll see how this plays out, but this is my plan for Bybit. It can a little bit push it up to 3 Fibonacci levels, little bit, not much, but overall the plan is same, and I'm gonna stick with my plan for Bybit. So I might even, if I see that here's a dominance is reversing, I might even sell my spots for Bitcoin, probably wait for it to, to give us a dump to buy cheaper, like 20% cheaper, maybe not, but that's what I would do. I mean, I'm just simply going to wait for holding my Bitcoin spot bags and 30% coin margin contracts. That's what I'm doing at this point. And the way I have seen these sort of things to play out on Bitcoin on the lower term time frame, we are in the price discovery. So the only levels that matters to you or to anyone else is 69,200. Till Bitcoin is above 69,200, we are good. Once it go back into 69,200, class, we are coming back inside the previous all-time highs, and it come back, and this is going to be like a weekly deviation then. So that will be slightly nasty if it does. So ideally, how this things plays out, normally it dumps and reaches the Monday mid, and then start looking for Monday highs, reclaim it, and then go. This is how normally it does. But the worst case scenario that we have seen so far can be on the Bitcoin is that we simply sweep the Monday highs, come back down the Monday range, go back to the Monday mid, lose it and go for a sweep of the Monday lows, because we have a hell lot of liquidity. As you can see, the dollar signs are strong here, more stronger over this week, and a very, very strong dollar sign over here as well. So practically we have a huge liquidity till 64,496. That's what the dollar signs tells us. So could you suggest what factors you take into account when you analyze a coin and add to watch list? Thanks in advance. So basically, we first of all look for the trend. I mean, for example, AI, everybody knows that AI is trending. So it's an uptrend, it's in bull run. So practically, one thing is that it's in bull run. We know that it's going to go to 50 billion. So overall, the trend is bullish. So of course, we need to eye AI. Now, how do we go? We then probably go for analysis. I probably go deep dive into the charting, starting with the weekly, daily, and so on. And that's how I look for all the indicators, basically RSI, MACD, and our TMV, SR algo, price action algo, our TMV oscillator, So all these things I do actually. And then once I feel that yes, it's good levels, everything is aligned. This is our oscillators that we have. It's like a traffic light. When everything turns green, it's a good signal, and probably you just simply have to go in. This was here, the green signal that it was given when everything was green at these levels around 68,800. Yes, we literally pumped to 72,900, which is roughly around almost close to $4,000 pump you can ever get on Bitcoin. I mean, that's how it is. So practically, this is how I normally look at it, and I just simply go to my watch list. And whatever the coins related to those AI, I just simply look to those coins and simply start to chart it, and then probably look for entries, So you're expecting a dump. Okay, what about BTC chart? So we have checked the Bitcoin chart. And is there anything that would invalidate USD dominance pump? I really don't think it's going to invalidate. That pump is just like a ticking time bomb. It's going to happen. So it's because the daily RSI is bottomed. We have a bullish divergence first. Now that if today daily closes under the RSI based MA, basically for the USD dominance, okay? So this is the weekly chart. Let's go to the daily chart. If today daily closes under 21.93 for RSI, then yes, we can say that the dump is likely going to continue on the USD DOM. Closing above is not a good sign. You see, last time also, once we start doing a double bottom sort of a thing, like lower lows, and once it starts closing above, like closing above like here, and then retested it never closed it above, and we got one more move on the downside. But once it closed above, you get a simply big candle on an upside, basically for the USD DOM. So that's what you need to be very, very careful about the USD DOM, that the only way to invalidate is today you want to see USD dominance RSI closing under 21.95 on the daily time frame. That's the only invalidation you have. Apart from that, there is no invalidation. You are expecting a dump, but also INJ 200 plus. Now that's a big thing, my friend. Very important thing. A half thing we listen, then we have a problem. I have been very vocal about it. Told many times on this stream as well. I really want to see a flip above 45. Once it flips above 45, it's not gonna stop. Even if Bitcoin go to hell, I don't care, because INJ is simply going to run up. That's what it is. So first and foremost thing you really need to understand is we need a closure above 45. You need a price to get acceptance on the daily above 45. Once it get acceptance, forget about it. It's just simply gonna go. You can't do anything about it, and it's just gonna go very fast. Because just look at the INJ Bitcoin chart. Now you might find it's very difficult to understand that INJ and Bitcoin is slightly bearish at this point. The way it has dumped actually. Yes, quite the fact that it's definitely not looking that bullish at this point to me. But if you just check it here, after a nasty move on the downside, you can see that, you know, on the daily time frame, the RSI is flipping the MA, which clearly indicates that there is a strong bullish divergence over here, first of all, as well as the indication that there is a possibility that the next move on INJ Bitcoin is literally to is not only going to hit the 50%, but is simply going to go to 69 to 70%. That's how INJ Bitcoin is then probably going to target. So yes, today daily closure is going to be very, very crucial. You really want to see RSI on INJ Bitcoin closing above 40.8 and kalas. I mean, INJ Bitcoin is literally going to go nuts at that point of time. But if we fail to do that, then probably INJ is literally going to dump back to our entry and probably even can stop out at break even, you know, because now we are riding our INJ spots that the trade we took at 41.4 to 41. We are riding at break even practically. My break even is 41.2 for that trade actually. So it's like, you know, that's how it is. $45 is a very crucial. Once it breaks out, it's going to accelerate and you won't be able to do anything about it, my friend. Trust me. It's going to go simply. And similarly, as I mentioned, INJ Bitcoin, look at INJ USDT as pair. The INJ USDT pair is also trying to flip the MA, which means that INJ USDT is already above 50 levels. It's trying to flip the MA, meaning that if today we are getting this closure, tomorrow INJ is going to run, in my view, and it's going to run very, very hard because INJ Bitcoin is going to pump. And that would be a good sign for us, because even if you're selling Bitcoin and just putting in INJ, our Bitcoin bags are going to increase. So earlier you were supposed to buy, you would be able to buy one Bitcoin. Now you'll be able to buy something more because INJ Bitcoin is going to pump. So you'll be able to buy more and more Bitcoin, you know, basically. So let's see, 45 is our crucial levels. We really need that flip of 45 by hook or crook. Once that level is flipped, INJ will fly. So let's see how things goes then once that level is flipped. So right now I'm still, it's struggling actually over here. As you can see, we are rejecting again and again from $45 because it's a strong resistance. So let's see, we are accumulating under the resistance. So I am very confident that we are accumulating under the resistance between $45 to $38. I think this is a good thing for our INJ, and we can probably, the next any breakout, the next breakout will be very, very wild, actually very wild. So that's all for today's stream, guys. I hope you liked it, and do check on the website, our website, guys. You know, the breaker bot is working absolutely fine. The divergence bot or the screeners are amazingly working. You guys can just take a help of those screeners. It's completely free for anyone to use it, so don't miss a chance. And also there are amazing infographics for you to learn, so that's going to help you a lot in, you know, basically trading. Actually, it's a good trading material that I've made. A lot of material I have personally made it. A lot of I have slightly changed a bit actually, but overall, you know, good. The last chart probably for today for my friend is going to be ENS. But before we go that, one more chart I just wanted to tell you about is that I forgot to, is comp. Now a lot of you might feel awkward about this, but yes, definitely I think comp is looking great actually. Comp, I think we have flipped the levels. The support that we have for comp is around $76 to $80, and we have flipped those levels. Still comp is above $76, or even the best levels would be around $70. Still comp is above $70. I think comp can go nuts and probably can literally, you know, run up big to 145, 174, because that's like a bigger range that we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. So I think if you're looking for some interesting accumulation on spots, there are two ways of accumulating it. For you know, a very much aggressive traders or buyers, usually accumulating comp between $76 to $70, with your invalidation under $70. And for confirmed traders, basically you just wait for confirmations. You need to wait for comp to flip $94, and once it flips, you simply go in and let that thing ride to $175. Talking about the chart ENS. Now let's talk about ENS. This is going to be last time because I'm damn tired talking on this stream because I'm having fast as well. So the last plan on the ENS perfectly played out, and then we have now having a range. So practically, I just need to a little bit remove all the drawings. I mean, this harmonic was perfectly played out. I think looking to the structure that we are watching on the weekly time frame, I really wanted to see a bullish checkmate, but there is no bullish checkmate. The volume is lower. And the move that we are watching here on an upside is clearly ABC actually. Hold on. Yeah, it doesn't seems to me like a 5 wave. So practically this is end of your impulsive move. And this was A. This was a B. And this should be getting wave C. So of course I think ENS should be, I don't know, I feel like it's going to go towards $16, maybe even 15.3. This is how I see it's going to like a bigger accumulation. However, once ENS flips 27.4, then you can long it. This is not a no trade zone. No chart for Atom. We discussed Atom, my friend, didn't we? We discussed Atom. 11.5. We are above 11.5. We are bullish. Simple as that. Well, I'll take a look for you again. So. I think you just simply have to look for ENS. The levels I'm watching for ENS is 27.4, these levels. So once ENS breaks out of here, flip it, you can buy and you can let it ride to maybe 38, maybe 40, because then it's going to be like a running flat. So that is how the running flat would then be. In case if you lose the levels of 23 over here, I think ENS is poised to dump towards my target of 17.9 and later towards $16. So that's what this is like a no trade zone for me. It's in the middle of something. Wait for the flip of 27.5. You get a perfect trade over there with a very tight stop loss, good risk reward, make big money on it and just exit, or wait for it to just probably go back to your target of $16 or so. Talking about Atom, as I mentioned, we are on the daily time frame. Rune, what is Rune doing? Where the hell is Atom? It was supposed to be Atom. So talking about Atom on a weekly time frame, I think Atom is bullish. As I mentioned, we got a 2 consecutive close above the equilibrium of this bigger range that we have, which is around 11.5. So practically, I think Atom is bullish in my view. We also got our first closure on weekly. So if you just probably look at from EMA perspective, we got first closure above EMA, about $13. So that was a good sign. So basically, we really want to see how this weekly is going to close. We have a strong support at 11.5, which is literally our entry on Atom. We are in good profits right now, honestly, if I have to tell you, but I feel this harmonic is really good. RSI is bullish, and probably we might see a little bit pullback. The pullback might be like a retest of 11.5. There is a possibility, there is a chance it might happen actually. It might just probably go to 11.5 one more time. So on the lower term time frame, on the daily, yes, we are having a strong resistance over here, but looking to this structure, it's bullish, meaning that I see even if it goes down like this, we can go probably to 12.2. These levels, probably the range highs that we have here and the order block that we have. So from there, we need to hold it up, and from there, I'm expecting it to run up like this. So that's what I'm expecting for Atom. Overall, 11.5 is going to hell. I think it's not going to lose it. But once, in case the worst case scenario, in case USD dominance go nuts, reversing, then Atom might lose 11.5, and at that point of time, it can literally target that $10 levels for Atom at that point of time. But for now, it's bullish. I really don't see anything. So that's all for today's stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. And Bitcoin, I think it's not wise for you to go into new longs, because I see we are going to target the Monday mid or the previous week highs, as you can see, and from there we will see whether we want to pump it up. In case if it loses, then we are likely going to go for a Monday lows, and probably even we can target the $62,000 levels, meaning the USD dominance is going to run up at that point of time. So that's all. XRP, as I mentioned, guys, once it flips the 70.56, you simply long it. Even I'm going to give you that long. 70.56 flip, we long. Okay, 7056. Basically, this red line that we have on the SR algo, that is a very important levels as well. That's all. The invalidation would be around 66 cents for XRP at that point of time. But let's wait for it to flip. Once it flips, we go in. That's all. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Take care.